As promised, I'm doing my first of a series now of recordings where I'm talking to you about the industry, the music industry, being an independent musician and what that's like. You know, the things we go through, the things we experience, the people we meet, the things we learn, the things we strive for, you know, our accomplishments, you know, our dreams. Basically, I'm talking to you from my perspective. And I just want to let you know who I am. I've got a lot of photos and things of my performances and whatever, but I've never actually just talked to people and said, hey, this is who I am. So, Sable Winters here, and I'm a singer, songwriter, recording artist, and I'm an independent label owner too. My independent label is Owl Eye Records, and I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. And of course, my network of musicians is primarily here in the Bay Area. I've been thinking a lot about, you know, what I can do to make a difference, not just for myself, but for other folks, to see if I can, you know, say, hey, this is what I've done, and this is how I was successful, and this is where I was sort of a failure. Well, not as successful, I'd rather say that. But I actually got started with Sarah Vaughan. She just really had this magic about her voice, and I'd never heard of her. I was living in Atlanta, and she came and performed at a music festival in Piedmont Park. And that really got me because, you know, I'm sitting out there on the lawn with all these people, and I'm thinking, okay, this lady is singing her heart out, and, you know, it's people are just sort of talking, but they were having a good time. So it was sort of like she was background music. Well, while everyone seemed to be treating it like background music, I was really just on the edge of my grass, because that was my seat, the grass, and just leaning in and just wondering, wow, this lady is something. She's doing something that I'd like to do. I could see myself doing that. And, well, long story short, I was at a, what do you call those things, yard sale or something. Someone was giving away a lot of albums, you know, those black 33 1/3 vinyl albums. And there was something in there with Sarah Vaughan, and she had a blue polka dot something with, I don't know if it was a hat or whatever, but anyway, it was a 2-album set, and I put it on my little turntable and I started listening to it, and just the clarity of the voice and the depth and the roundness of the voice just really just got me. So I played that over and over and over, and I just would be up at night, you know, singing and listening and singing and listening. And then, of course, you know, as I got a little bit more cheddar, I started going out and buying, you know, the CDs and listening to more and more. And then I slowly started discovering a lot of other singers, but I spent most of my time, I think, cutting my teeth on Sarah Vaughan. So I think I found a way to basically just study a lot of singers that, you know, caught my eye, you know, attracted my ear. Carmen McRae is one of them. And I had never heard of some of these singers. Like, I'd heard of Sarah, what's her name? Nina Simone. But I had never really listened to her before. And I only really started listening to Nina Simone in the last, I don't know, few years. Just a few years now. And of course, everybody, you know, starts listening to Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald, but I never compared Sarah Vaughan to Ella Fitzgerald and vice versa. I always thought that Sarah Vaughan was in a class by herself, and of course, Ella is her own woman, her own style. And of course, the thing about Ella that never really got me was the scatting. I'm not really a big scat person. I don't go for it. Because what I understand is that it really is a way to sound out a melody. You know, your horn players particularly were doing that as a way to sound out a melody. They weren't really singers. So I guess somewhere along the way people started leaning toward it because of the da-da-da-da and all of that, which is not me. And, you know, of course, then Louis Armstrong was doing it a lot, and he made it. And Louis and Ella worked together quite a bit for, you know, the rest of his career, and then her onward, just, you know, really perfecting that scatting thing. But Sarah, she was more classical in a way. I mean, she had a sort of a move and a feel to her. You know, she had two sides to her. She liked the classical, which, you know, the labels wanted her to do, but she also liked the meat too. So that was her, the meat. So she had a broader range to me to be able to carry that note to here, and then bring it all the way back down to here. And it was just be fluid and buttery and silky to me. And I said, that's her. Of course, then, you know, you had these people always talking about, well, do you do Ella Fitzgerald? And no, I don't do Ella Fitzgerald, because, well, everybody thinks when you're a jazz singer, and I want to say everybody, I'm generalizing, but they think when you say, I'm a jazz singer, the first thing that comes to mind is Ella Fitzgerald. And I asked them in turn, what about Sarah Vaughan? Have you heard of Sarah Vaughan? And believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there who've never heard of Sarah Vaughan. Anyway, this is the Sarah Vaughan hour, and I'm going to give her all her props. And we are going to come back next time with a little bit more of my inspiration. But I just wanted to give you a little something today, my very first video, and let you have a little bit more insight into what makes me creatively. I'll talk to you later. That's all I have for now. Bye-bye.